Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hi, Ari. Welcome to the queue. Hi, Rosette. Hi, welcome. Hi, love. Welcome. So let's see. Someone just sent a cash app. So who was that? Let me pull this up. Love. I think it was you. Okay, so let me see who all I have in the queue. I have Tiny, New Love, Black Widow, Rosette, and Ari. So, as normal, I am going to get started with the community read. I'm going to be using the Signs of the Times Oracle. And for our actual readings, I'll be using the Light Seers Tarot. And if you send a tip, I will pull from both decks. Depends how many cards, depends on the question. All right. So, as you guys are still working on entering the queue, I'm going to get this deck all shuffled here. Let's see what our community read is. Hope you guys had a really good week. If you have any fun things planned for the weekend, let me know. We have mountains. Okay, so this is the obstacles card. I feel like maybe this period, as a community, we are starting to face some obstacles. This could be obstacles in just moving forward. It could also be a sign of, like, since it's on the road, obstacles regarding travel or vacation. I feel like overall, it's just, whatever that forward momentum is, there are some obstacles. Luke, hey, what's funny is one of my friend's kids was born today. So, whatever today's sign is, there's a lot of them going around, I guess. Let's see. Next card. Hi, Sil. Welcome. Ooh, anchor. We have stability. So, I feel like actually, I mentioned in the first card, I should always wait. I feel like I should wait till I pull all the cards, but I like to do this more intuitively. Um, with this obstacles card, I feel like maybe the obstacle is that it's really hard to stay rooted and anchored in one place. So this could be obstacles at home that make you feel like you need to keep moving, and it feels like you're always constantly in flux instead of being able to ground yourself and root yourself in one solitary place. Let's pull our last community read. And while I am doing that, love, go ahead and put your question in the chat. Since you sent a tip, I'm going to get you first. Oh, this is the heart. So overall, we are finding it difficult to find stability when it comes to the things that our heart wants. So this could be your heart is really struggling at home. It could be just any sort of place where you feel like you should have at least a little more handle on things. So this could be your work life, it could be your own personal health, it could be a lot of things. I feel like this is more the physical side of the world, less thoughtful, less emotional, but it's how you respond to that. So because you're having these obstacles, it's weighing heavily on you, perhaps emotionally, but I think the thing that's actually happening is more physical. I kind of feel like I know what this is for myself, but if you guys have something going on, I mean, you don't have to tell me what's going on, but you can totally tell me if you saw a little bit of yourself in that community reading. So again, I'm going to be using my Light Seers Tarot. Um, just going to get a nice shuffle going. I feel like I've not used this deck in a while. Uh, but maybe it's just because, like, I pulled it out recently, so it feels like it's fairly recent in the rotation, but I haven't actually I haven't actually done a rotation with this deck. Um, all right, while we wait for love, let's go ahead and get Tiny. Go ahead, put your question in the chat. Oops, I totally forgot that I forgot to change this to subscribers only. So sorry if someone joined and you're not a subscriber, you'll have to wait 10 minutes. Um, there we go. Oh, it was you, Black Widow. I'm so sorry. Um, I saw love and I just completely like blacked out. Black Widow, go ahead, post your question. Yeah, it's funny because there's a new love in the chat, but like I got it all mixed up. Hey Tower. Hey Kate, welcome to the queue. It was kind of long. Not caring so much for the new job, but pays the bills. So at least the team is nice. Less toxic work environment. I just hate having to go into a stuffy ass office all day. It's very exhausting. Sorry about that. New love, I will get you after Black Widow. So go ahead, Black Widow, go ahead, put your question in chat. Hopefully you guys had a good week though. We are, let's see. I'm looking at the moon phase. Oh, we have about another week and change before we have the full moon. Let's see what the situation is between you and Elvis. Let's see. Let's see. Actually, let's pull an oracle card, see the overall energy. See what's going on. Divine guidance. Okay. I'm gonna save my opinions for after the tarot. Let's see what we have. Let's pull the first card for you guys. All right, one more card. There we go. All right. So, I'll put this here for now. So you have divine guidance. I feel like this is the card that's saying the universe is telling you that it's time to just let go, right? This was a fun period in your life, but perhaps it's now time to move on. And that the universe is telling you this and it's manifesting in the energy that Elvis is giving to you. So we have the King of Wands, we have Temperance in reverse, and then we have the Hermit in reverse. You have a lot of like reverse energy going on, and the only thing that's upright is the King of Wands. And I think that is indicative of the fact that this person is getting married, kind of has like a path forward. The kings are generally very sure of themselves. They have an idea of how they want to push forward. And they tend to stand in their own conviction, especially the king of wands, because they understand where their true passions lie in terms of the general king. So the king of wands is the visionary. So if you don't fit into that vision, then you're just not the focus, right? And I think that's what's happening. um so we have the temperance card here in reverse, and temperance is usually about balance. And I think that maybe in the past he tried to balance you and other things, but that's simply not a priority anymore. And I think that instead it kind of wants to break that like unionship up. There's like a conflict of interest now keeping you around. So I think that in whatever he sees in his vision, he realizes that you are a conflict in that and is starting to distance himself from that. And that's what I see here also in the hermit. So the hermit too is indicating that, yeah, maybe these are all things that probably should happen, especially with the divine guidance. But the hermit is indicative of the fact that maybe it's a little like rash and immature in the way that he's doing it. So, what I mean is, like, this has to obviously happen, but maybe it's being a little childish about how it's happening. So, instead of being a little more mature in this situation, it's just coming off as really like standoffish and just strange vibes, right? So I think that he doesn't know how to say that he doesn't want to be cool and or like in the way that you guys were before, and instead just would rather just push it all behind him and move on. So I think that's what's really going on. And it's honestly, especially with the divine guidance, probably for the best. I feel like this is like a sign that this is a chapter that, was probably fun and worthwhile for a time period, but that time is now ending. And that's fine. Sometimes it's hard when things change, but at the end of the day, it's probably for the best for both parties that this door just closed completely and then move forward. It allows you a clean slate to move forward and allows him to start this new journey that he's kind of already on anyway. And it doesn't leave you kind of just dangling along. Yeah, totally for the best. And I think, like, at the end of the day, if you think back on the situation, it was just more so like probably not sure how to best handle the situation. Like, if it had been a more mature thing that happened between you guys, probably would have been able to talk it through and both agree that, yeah, we should close the door, but instead didn't know how to handle it. And that's fine. Sometimes we're presented with situations that we don't handle very well, but we don't mean it maliciously. It's just, it kind of gets away from us. So hopefully that helps. Very awkward situation. Yes. Thank you, Sil. Always keeping me straight. You're welcome, Black Widow. Sorry I mixed you up. You can tell I've been like out of the rhythm for a while. Oh, perfect, new love. Thank you for letting me know you're here. All right, let me get your cards. Let's see what you should know about your connection with P. Oops. Okay, last card. So we have the Page of Swords, Four of Wands, and then the Nine of Cups. These two here are reversed and this is upright. So I I think I'll just kind of go in order here. So with the Page of Swords, um, Page of Swords in reverse, paired with the Four of Wands, gives me very like fun time vibes, but not long time vibes. So, what I mean by that, I'm actually going to start in the middle and I'll work my way out. The Four of Wands is really like a celebratory card. It's really fun card where you can just celebrate the connections that you have, the energy that's around you. So, I feel like P must be a really fun, effervescent person to be around. But I think that they I won't say that they themselves are shallow. I think the connection with them is shallow. Um, and that's fine. Sometimes we have surface level friends and that it is what it is. Just don't expect more from that. Um, so if you understand the limits of the friendship, then and you're okay with it, it is what it is, right? So the Page of Swords in reverse tends to be a little bit fickle. And by that, I mean they are someone who really like could tend to move from one thing to the next, really aloof kind of energy. And upright, they tend to be someone who's really curious and really wants to draw things in and learn more about things and people and dive more deeper. But in reverse, it's very much more shallow. It's like things are interesting for a little bit of time and then they move on to the next more interesting thing. And then it's kind of reflected here in the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is um really a joyful card generally, but in reverse, it's like saying like all of the things that you are hoping for, the things that you are manifesting, the things that would make you happy, just are not coming together in the way that you would think. So if P is someone that you were hoping for a deeper friendship with, or if you're hoping for something more romantic, or if they were someone who you would hope have more substance in your life, perhaps that's just not their purpose right now. Um, and looking at these cards, I don't think it's anything malicious. I think that that's just how things are, unfortunately. So you just have to decide if you're okay with that or not. And also, too, if they're a new friend, this could just be a temporary, um, it could be a temporary phase of the friendship. So you just have to see if it's worth the effort, the time and effort. Okay. Um, all right, I already got Black Widow. So just ignore that. Okay. Rosette, go ahead, put your question in the chat. After Rosette, I have Ari, I have Kate, I have Tower, and Whimsically. Hi, Whimsically. I think you snuck in while I was doing a reading. Yeah, new love. Probably not worth it. Maybe if it's cool, like for parties and social situations to just have fun, that's totally cool. Oh, don't forget to like the video, guys. It helps with the algorithm. You guys are already subscribed, so. Hi, Whimsically. How have you been? I don't know that Rosette subscribed, so I'm going to keep going. Ari, you are up next. I think Rosette squeezed in before I turned my subscription only on. Oh, I really need to figure out a cat cam. My two kitty cats are snuggling up in their bed. Um Let's see. Tell you why your guides delayed the interviews today for Tim Hortons and Five Below. Why do you think that your guides delayed that? I'm just curious. I'm trying to understand the backstory here on that one. And I'm gonna combine them just because otherwise it's two separate readings. Okay. Okay. Let's see. All right. Let's see why your guides delayed these interviews. I feel like I pulled the Ten of Wands for you last time. Oops. Come on, last card. One more. Okay, here we go. So we have the Ten of Wands, Eight of Wands, and Seven of Swords. Um, let's see here. I don't remember exactly what I pulled for you last time, but I swear it's something similar to like the Ten of Wands, and it could have been something else. I totally feel like I pulled the Ten of Wands for you, but so I think that because with the Eight of Wands, I feel like things are moving very quickly, whether they feel like it to you or not. Maybe your guides feel it and you don't. So, and that could mean that there are better opportunities that are percolating in the background that you haven't been aware of yet. So, I vaguely recall from your last reading, I was saying that, the jobs you applied for, I don't think are going to pan out. But if you keep pressing, other things are going to pop up. So I think maybe that's what it was. So maybe they're delaying this so that way the right things converge on you at the right time. Now, the reason that I think that it's like the right things at the right time, we have this Ten of Wands here. So I think that this is saying like keep going along this journey. It's going to be a little exhausting. Things are working in the background, whether you feel it or not, or notice it or not. But the 10 suggests that you do reach this point of achievement, but it suggests you're going to do it, but it's going to be a burden to you. So it's going to be exhausting. It's going to be wearisome. You just have to get through it. So I think that too, like the Seven of Swords, the Seven of Swords is interesting in comparison to everything else with the two Wands cards. I think that with the things in the background moving, right, and knowing that you have this journey to go down, I think your guides are saying be a little strategic in how you move going forward. So I know like generally I do this, so maybe I'm projecting a little, but with jobs, you kind of just throw your resume out there and see what sticks, right? Maybe that now they're saying now's the time, like you might have done that, but now's the time to start to go through and see what it is that's really going to work well for you and start to focus on those things and bring those things towards you. If you're into manifesting, stuff like that, maybe that's a good thing to start to do now. The Seven of Swords really suggests this strategic movement from here on out. So being more strategic with your time, with your energy, with your focus. Try not to, especially mirroring this Ten of Wands, try not to overextend yourself on things that are not going to help you towards whatever this goal is that you have for your job, whether it be Tim Hortons, whether it be Five Below, or whether it be a specific one of either or. Make sure you're honing in that focus. So I think that your guides are probably pulling those out of the way for you. So that way you have more time to sit back, reflect on what you've been looking at so far, and really decide, okay, like if the rubber's hitting the road now, what do I need to really focus on? Which location, which franchise, whatever that might mean for you. Yeah. I generally recall you saying that in the past that your guides are really protective. So I feel like if they feel like things are moving in the background for you and you're not noticing them, they're going to pull out the distractions for you and hope that you take the time to refocus. And that could be too. Like I would say too, actually I really like how the preparedness that you said. if if you've been feeling really like exhausted and this was just going to be one more interview, another interview, and you weren't really preparing in any way that was different than you were before, that's another room with this seven of swords where you can really sit back and re-strategize how you present yourself in these interviews. So it could be like a double-edged, not a double-edged sword, it could be like a two for one thing that's happening where you could strategize on where you're focusing but also how you're presenting yourself to others. But my gosh, I interviewing is so exhausting. I very much relate to that 10 of wands. Okay, Kate, go ahead, put your question in the chat. You're welcome, Ari. Good luck, fingers crossed for you. I don't I don't envy all of the interviews. So, guys, this weekend is St. Patty's Day, and Syl and I are going to be doing our very first tarot tag that we created live Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, if you would like to join us, chat about different decks, and just have some fun St. Patty's time, then make sure to join us. Also, I have a I have a playlist of people that have already um, done a video response. So if you want to see some, get a preview of what to expect on Sunday, go ahead and check out that playlist. Okay, Kate, let's see what some good things are that are coming. Yes, still I think I found another one. I found four total, so if I'm missing some, I'll have to search again, but I got to watch two. I watched Robbins and Chanel. All right. Let's see what good things are coming towards you. Okay. One more. Okay. We have the Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, and then the King of Cups. You have all court cards. Very interesting. So I feel like this is maybe like maybe just a phase of life that's happening with all of these court cards. So these two are reversed, right? And then we have the cups here. So and based off of the question that you asked, I feel like if you are currently in this reverse phase, this is what you're going to start to get a handle on. You're going to start to feel like you can, with these two pentacles in reverse, there's an instability that is going on right now. And if you can get out of that, I think you can start to get things moving again. So pentacles are naturally very like rooted energy, not a lot of movement, but in reverse, instead of being rooted, it feels more stagnant, almost like you're stuck. And you see a lot of that reflected here in the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles, generally, knights are always about movement. But the Knight of Pentacles likes to go more the slow and steady wins the race kind of knight. So in reverse, it's like they're stuck. They can't move forward. They don't have any ambitions. They sort of lost sight of the end goal. So I think that going forward, you probably reconnect with yourself in a way that helps you get out of this. So with the queen of we have this where you feel stuck and maybe a little like almost wandering aimlessly that doesn't actually move you forward. Here in the Queen of Pentacles, this is where you, in the rare instance that you feel like you're getting anything done, it's because you're having to rely on others to do it. You don't feel like you have any control over how you're moving forward with things. So this energy feels very much like you're needing to get a handle on things. And I think because you have the King of Cups here upright, what this is saying is that you're entering this phase where whatever it is that's holding you back, perhaps it's your connection with yourself, just external influences, how they have affected you in the past, are starting to you're starting to release that energy. So the King of Cups, I mentioned it in previous reading, the kings are like the leaders of the courts. They tend to be very wise and confident in their place in the world. And I think that's what's lacking here. Perhaps that confidence helps you switch this energy around and flip it upright. The King of Cups really is like the happy medium between someone who is very thoughtful, very wise and understanding, but then really embraces and imbues that energy of the water that is healing and nurturing. So while with the Queen in reverse, you feel like you are reliant on people, the King knows how to use that energy, like, or use those outside resources to help him feel more in control, right? And I'm sorry for using him versus she or whatever, but you know what I mean. So I feel like coming soon, Kate, like just to wrap all of this up, I feel like you are going to enter this era of confidence where you feel more confident to move forward. You start to refocus what your ambitions are. You feel like you don't have to rely so heavily on people to do things for you, but instead you can rely on people to help you get things done. It all comes back to you and your power. Um, so with I guess with that being said, if I were to wrap this up a bit, try to find ways. I always say this, try to find ways to flip this energy upright, right? So as I've described stuff to you, I'm sure things have come to your mind about this. Um, Now you can be a little more thoughtful about it. Oh, still, were you? I feel like I looked up the tag, but I didn't. I don't think I was only tagged in like three. I think. Okay, Tower, the Tower again. I like your name. Go ahead, put your question in the chat. There we go. You're welcome, Kate. Thanks for joining. I'm so excited for Sunday, and I'm excited for the spring equinox when I can finally make my little announcement next. I think I'll do it on the spring equinox. Okay, yes, thank you. It's been so hard because with my new job, I can't take my phone into my office, and YouTube doesn't work, Discord doesn't work. So, like, I've been like basically disconnected from people all day for like 10 hours. And then I get home and I just cannot squeeze all of that YouTube in like the 2 hours that I have to myself at night. All right. Whimsically, go ahead, put your question in the chat. The tower, if you come back, you can rejoin the queue. This is a weird, that didn't feel very lo-fi. That was strange. Let's switch it up. There we go. Ooh, general message. Okay. Yep. All right, let's see. General message for whimsically. Next card. All right, one more. 10 of Wands makes a reappearance. Okay, we have the 7 of Cups and 10 of Cups in reverse, and then we have the 10 of Wands. I feel like this is like the end of a very turbulent chapter. So, excuse me. I'll just go in order. I'll go in order. The 7 of Cups, that's a card where you feel like you have a lot of choices, sometimes too many choices, but a lot of choices on things that you can connect with, generally like emotionally, right? But and it could be you feel emotionally connected to different opportunities or people, stuff like that. But um, in reverse, instead, it feels like you don't have any choice. Like your situation is what your situation is, and you have no choice but to live in it. But I think with both tens here, this is a sign that should be coming to an end. M Between the cups and wands, I would say maybe I don't like to do official timing, but give it like a few months, right? Uh, so with the 10 of cups in reverse, I think that you feel stuck due to how perhaps people have been treating you, how situations have played out where they might have been a little unfair. People might have openly betrayed your trust, betrayed your kindness, that kind of stuff. And in general, what's happening is the 10 of cups is really like a sign that you could be wanting to shut down, but I don't recommend you do that, especially with the 10 of wands here. The 10 of wands, I've mentioned before, is really the card of just needing to fight through your obligations, your burdens, your stressors and anxieties to just close this chapter, to reach the end, reach that finish line, so that way you can start to put these all of this stuff behind you. I will say that I will say that this energy kind of like softens itself out. So this might be a lot harder to feel like you can do because the emotional impact of the situation to you. Yeah, and so if it's been really, as you say, turbulent, I think that going forward, and what I like here in your reading at the end, you have her. Sorry, it's a little like my camera doesn't like to focus, but she's come on, see if I can get it. There we go. She's pushing forward with everything she has, regardless of the journey that she's been on, right? So regardless, your goal is to continue to move forward, even though it might feel a little bit like you have no choice but to deal with the situation that you're dealing with. So I feel like, and it's hard sometimes, well, for me at least, general readings are a little hard with 3 cards. I tend to like to dive a little deeper, but I think if I'm filling in the gaps here, one of the things that you need to do going forward is reconnect with yourself emotionally. So, like, I feel like if there were cards on the other side of this, this would be like the next phase of the journey. So this is just kind of telling you what's going on here and how to get out of it. And then I feel like once you get to that point, you start to feel comfortable. You can revisit and see what's the next phase of the journey. You just have to get there. You have to go through this, unfortunately. But I will say, despite that, I do feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's just a little hard. It's a lot of hard work. But with these two tens, it's very optimistic in the sense that you will get through it. You just have to allow yourself time and patience to do it. But I'm sorry that it's been so stressful for you. Alrighty, Luke, you are up next. Hi, Infinity. Welcome. How are you doing? You're welcome, Whimsically. Welcome to the queue. So you just want to know how your camp week will go in June? Just remember that future readings are a little um nebulous, so things could change because it's only March right now. So I'm happy to do this reading for you. Just want to give that caveat that as you get closer, you might want to reconnect with this idea here. All right, let's see here. Let's see what your week at camp will look like in June. All right. Seven of Cups has made a reappearance, but upright this time. So you have the Seven of Cups, the Six of Cups reversed, and the Magician. Um, hmm. So part of this feels like camp is going to be what you make of it and the energy that you put into it. And then the other part is that it might feel like you make the decision to um, make camp the way that it was in the past, but perhaps that's just not how it is anymore. So if you look at like your experience with camp and it, generally overall over the past few years went a specific way and you really enjoyed it and you think back upon it very fondly in that regard, try not to carry those expectations into your week because sometimes things are different, but just because they're different, they're not bad. So here with the Seven of Cups, this is where you have these different choices, right? You can decide how your week's going to go. This feels very much like you have the power to make the week that you want it to be. And and it could be feeling this way, at least to me, because it doesn't feel that far in the future, but when you're asking about 1 week in 3 months from now, it feels very much like you have the ability to make it how you want to, because you have enough, like, time to set or remove expectations and for yourself of living in the past about camp and go in fresh. And I feel like that's where the magician comes in, where you are the creator of your perception, right? So you have the ability to manifest a good time or a bad time um at camp. Okay, so this is tracking with your own general expectations. That's good. Cuz it feels very much like, hey bro, you know, if you want to have a good time, have a good time. If you don't want to have a good time, then dwell on the past and don't have a good time. Uh, so I think that overall, though, you have the capability to have a really fun time. I think you can make it really enjoyable. But that's going to be totally the attitude that you put into it, and making sure that you're not trying to make this year's camp live up to any kind of hyper expectations of the past. Leave the past in the past. It's great you had a good time previously, but this year is a new year and you have to just accept roll with the punches as they happen. So I don't think anything bad, honestly, but I do recommend. I mean, June is still 3 months away, so I recommend. Wait, March, April, May, yeah, June. So I recommend maybe double checking, like, right before you go to camp. Alrighty, Infinity, go ahead, put your question in the chat. I'm gonna go ahead and close my queue just so I can get off of here, snuggle with my cat. I have some spell work that I need to write up as well. I meant to do it earlier, but time got away from me. It is, yeah. It can be very draining, but sometimes, I mean, like, I know that when I go to dodgeball tournaments, I'm, like, exhausted, and afterwards, I, like, hate the world, but when I look back on my weekend, I really, like, realize how much fun and such a good time that I had, so it's worth it. So, Infinity, I don't do, like, what other people feel, but I can see what the energy between you 2 are. Let's see what the energy between you guys are. What? Uh-oh. Let's see, next card. One more. A lot of reversals tonight. I'm gonna have to fix this deck. We have the Two of Wands, Three of Cups in reverse, and then the Knight of Cups in reverse. Mm. So I feel like you guys are mirrored right now, and you guys are not on the same page. So I feel like, and I might be interpreting a little more than I should here, but I feel like you're hoping that there's this, like, plans for the future with this Two of Wands, um, some decisions on long term things that are going to be made, but conversely, we have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups generally in terms of like relationship questions is not the most favorable night. And then in reverse is kind of a worse energy. So upright can be a little bit of a like Prince Charming kind of vibe, a little shallow, not necessarily malicious, but a bit of a charmer. But in reverse, it's intentional. So they're intentionally charming people, intentionally like leading people on. And of course, I'm going to caveat because I'm just a girl slinging cards on the internet. So you're going to do whatever you're going to do. But this is just what I see in the cards. So I don't feel like the connection and the intentions are the same between these two. So in the middle here, we have the Three of Cups in reverse. The Three of Cups in reverse is like, it's like a dissolvement of friendships. So I feel like that there's a distance between you guys that perhaps you don't feel because you're looking out, you're gazing longingly, whereas this person is, looking out at the next best thing in front of them. So I don't think that this person has any like real ambitions for anything deeper or long term going forward. And I don't necessarily think you guys are on the same page emotionally. So I would reconnect. I will say too, one of the things missing from this is some swords cards, which means there's not enough communication happening. It is only a 3 card reading, so generally more things pop up in bigger readings. But because there are no swords, there's also no pentacles. There's nothing very rooting here. There's nothing stable. There's no foundation. There's no communication. I think that perhaps if you really want to know how things are, you're going to have to talk to him and see what's up, unfortunately. I mean, I say unfortunately, but like any real relationship is based off of communication. So I do wish you luck on that. And hopefully things change in the future. And who knows, maybe I'm just not seeing the right things. Alrighty, guys. You're welcome. Good luck with everything. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. If you would like to hang out on Discord, I kind of gave a giveaway preview at the beginning of the month. That is going to be coming out next week. So, and the winner will be announced in April, but it's in honor of the solstice. So I figured I'd announce it on the solstice. I thought I was going to do it in the beginning of the month, but I changed my mind. But if you'd like to join the Discord, here is the link. Should be popping up shortly. And I will catch you guys on Sunday if you join me and Sil for our St. Patty's Tarot tag. Otherwise, I will see you guys next week. All right. Bye.